Conference will
XML
now
one.
be recorded.
Right. Just a quick introduction about XML. Okay. So XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, right? So purpose is to store and transport the data. Okay, right? So XML take this type of format, right? XML take this type of format. So XML plays a major role in transferring the data when you deploy the component from one org to another org. Okay, when you deploy the component from one org to another org, basically we are transferring the metadata in the form of XML. Okay, so whenever you see that do the deployment using Eclipse or any other third-party tool, you'll see an XML file is also created. The XML files where the data will be looking like in this format. It takes the format of your HTML, similar to a Visual Force page, the open tag and close tag. So all the rules are applicable, right? These are general rule for your Visual Force tag and the XML tags. Open, outer open tag, closed, okay, and child. These are all child node. These are all parent, root element. We call it as root element and child element. We may have a child to child as well, right? We may have a child to child as well. So that's the type of uh, the child to child and okay, outer root element. So these consist of all these things. No, we will see how to build the XML string and all. Okay, and okay. Anyway, when you cover the integration demos, when you start the integration demos, then we are going to learn more about XML format, right? Because when you transfer the data, we are going to transfer not only the data format, okay, the data format, which is definitions of the data are going to transfer, document type definition. So this was the old format of XML, the data in which format we transferred earlier. Okay, now we are following schema format, XML schema. So DDD was a old XML format we followed, documentation type definition. Because when I send any data, right? See here, I'm sending some data like some name of the person, some text we are sharing. When you share this information, okay, what is the format? In which format you are going to build the JSON XML thing? So basically, uh, this is called DDD. So DDD will be shared. So DDD actually, what is the type of the data? What is the type of the data we are sharing? Okay, so that's going to be defined by this, this tag system node.ddd. When you refer the DDD, you will come to know. Okay, the two is the PC data type. This is a data type basically. For example, if you take your Apex name string, okay, from address is going to be string format, right? And say for example, it's a salary decimal format. So basically, this is a data type. Okay, what are the two? What are the type of data type we have in the DTD format? Okay, just trying to understand the how the old format of XML, how the data was shared to the build the. I mean, what type of format we build the XML string earlier. There are only two data types we have. Okay, if you see here, there are only two data types: PC data, and there is one more data type. Okay, we are just trying to understand the old one, just for a reference. Okay, there is one more type, PC data, and one more, there is another additional type. There are only two types we have to define the data. We do not have more than two types to define, your different types of data, your decimal, integer, boolean. We have only two types earlier, right? So then, okay, they introduced schema format. When you go schema format, that's a format you are following. Okay, it's like a DDD format. So where the schema format is basically is well defined format. It's well defined format. If you see here, two, we have string. Everything is a string. Okay, so like this we have a integer, number, string. There are different formats we can use to build your string. Okay, to build your string, so that the XML system will come to know, okay, these are the formats, these are type of the data we have. Okay, so suppose XML system is trying to give a number to this field, then what will happen? The schema will take care of the validation. It says like the two cannot be a string, two cannot be a number, this should be a string. Okay, the from address should be in the string format. So the XML says the type of the data, sorry, the schema says the type of the data, as well as, it does the validation. It does the validation. So compared to your DDD, right? Schema is more, more powerful, and it does it supports a lot of data format, Your DDD provides only a PC data and one more data format, but it provides a string, integer, many different data format we can use here. Okay, and it provides the validations. Okay, it validates the correction of data, and okay, and just trying to understand, and it supports a namespace. What is a namespace? Okay, so namespace says, where the definitions of your element available. For example, if I say apex colon page, apex colon page block, so the namespace will provide all the details about this component, right? All the details about this component. What are the attributes available for this component, and what is the, okay, what type of data you can pass to the component? Everything is going to be defined in the namespace. So, okay, that way we are going to build our JSON string now. Okay, sorry, XML string now. Okay, right? We'll see how to build the XML string. We'll jump on to just have a brief introduction about the whole DDB format and schema format. So schema is the one we are using it now because it supports a lot of data formats. A well-defined data formats we can, we can build the schema compared to your DDD old format. Okay, so anyway, we are going to see much more detail about the schema format when we talk about a SOAP-based, web service. SOAP-based web service, see a visual document which plays a major role. In the visual document, we need to understand the structure of the schema. Okay, so there are two structure basically, complex and simple structure. When you say complex, it means, it's going to have a parent node and child node within which we have a child like this. Okay, complex, and complex will also have attribute also. When you say attribute, what does it mean? Your, okay, the XML string along with the attribute. When you say attribute means what? Say title for the page, ID, okay, a controller attribute. All these are attributes, right? Your XML can also attribute. So this is your simple XML. This is your simple XML. So it has an attribute, right? So this is a complex one. This is a complex one. So this is a simple one, which doesn't have any child element, which doesn't have any attribute. So this considered as a complex type. So the XML is also of two types. One is a complex and another is a simple XML type. So those are things we are going to see. Okay, right. Enough introduction, brief introduction. We'll move on to an example quickly. I believe in another 30-40 minutes we'll be able to complete this XML thing. Okay, XML thing takes less time to understand. Okay, so when you say XML, how we are going to build the XML string? There are two types of classes available. Okay, belongs to DOM namespace. The classes belongs to DOM namespace. Okay, right. There are two classes we have. No? When you talk about XML partitioning and creating XML, okay, partitioning and serialize and deserialize, the same thing. Deserialize and serialize. Okay, so when you get the XML data, and now we are going to read the XML data. When you build the XML tags, then how we are going to build. So what is a namespace? DOM, and we have two classes, a document and XML node class. A document and XML node class, right? So when you go to the document class, so document class has the methods, a document methods. Okay, so these are the methods. So using these methods, we can build the root element. We can build the root element, right? What is the root element? Suppose in this tag, the outer one is a root element, right? What is a base element? It's considered as a root element. So using which we can build the root element, right? If you click on this, it's a top level root element, right? It's a top level root element. The method is the method is going to return the type dom.xml node. If you go to dom.xml node, it provides a lot of methods to add a child. We added the root element by using a right? By using a document method, we are going to build the root element. Once the root element is built, how we are going to add the child? How we are going to add the child? By using this method, add child, right? Add child. We'll follow this and add child. For this child, if I'm going to add one more child, for example, I'm going to add one more child. Then we go for the same method. Okay, we go for the same method. We are going to add again. We are going to add the child with the help of same method. Add child element. Okay, add child element. So like that, we are going to build the XML string. We are going to see how to build the XML string. So basically, there are two classes we have, right? One is DOM. One is document. Another is XML node. So belongs to DOM namespace. There are two classes we are going to see to build our XML string. So when you build the root element, if you see here, the root element has three parameters. One is name of the root element. Okay. For example, here in this case, name. Right? Here in this case, name. Suppose I go here, there is a XML tag like this. So what is the root element here? The root element here is address, right? The child element is city. If inside which, if you have any more tag, right? Any more tag here, it's a child to child. We'll follow this. So this is a base root element. So the root element will have, okay, you can, if you give the, if you build the root element for this, what you will do? We'll give like a name as a address. Okay. In case if you are going to have namespace here, for example, ABC is a namespace, then what you are going to here? What you are going to give here? You are going to give here a namespace. Okay. So basically, namespace is a URL. Okay. Where these definitions are available, it's going to be URL. the prefix is nothing but ABC. Okay, but what about the definitions of this prefix? What about the entire information about the prefix? That's going to be available in the URL here. That's going to be available in this website. Okay, so we'll follow this. So these three things, okay, it's going to take every tag that you're going to build. Okay, so we are trying to understand the root element tag now. The first one is going to be a name, and the two things is going to define the namespace. So namespace is what's the prefix you are going to use, right? In other case, what you have to use now? We have to build the string like this. If you're going to build the string like this, see here, like this, you have to build. It's very complex structure. Am I right? We cannot do like this. We can do it, but what happens when you transfer the data? It takes more overheads. In order to avoid that, we go for a prefix. Okay, we generally call it as a namespace, right? But what basically it is? It's an abbreviation of your namespace. It is a short form of referring your namespace. Namespace is a library where is a website in your XML where you will find the definitions of all your components. Okay, for example, here, what are the definitions? What type of data I can pass? When I say definitions, we have seen the definition is nothing but what type of data, okay, I can pass, like your DDD and schema format, right? What type of data, and okay, and what are the now how many data I can pass, right? Whether it is string or number. So everything is defined in this namespace. So namespace prefix, and what is the actual namespace library? That's the two arguments we have. The first one is the name of the tag, and before this, if you need namespace, then we'll go with the namespace and prefix. If I don't need a namespace, then what will do? If I don't need the namespace, if I'm going to build a string, just XML like this, then what I'm going to do? I'm just use a root element, and here I'm going to pass null. So this is optional. We'll follow this. This is optional. Okay, in this case, we can build this string like this, and then we are going to build the child element. We'll follow this. Have some idea about this. Let's quickly see one example. Everyone is able to follow? Can you respond?
Yeah, that's Ranjith.
Can you respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are two classes we have, right? There are two classes, document, XML node. The document class is going to return the value in the XML node, and using that instance methods of this class, we are going to build this string. That's it. Okay. So up to 50 nodes, deep nodes we can create, right? See here, a document class is the first one we are going to use. How we are going to use? It belongs to okay, a namespace DOM. So DOM dot document. So this is a class. We create the instance. It's okay. We need an instance, right? Because it's instance methods. These are instance methods. So first you create the instance. Right. That's the first step. Create root element. Step 2, create root element. How we are going to create root element? We have methods. Okay, create root element. So doc dot create root element. Okay, let's create a root element now. Right? Just go with the okay customer. So I'm not going to give the prefix null namespace. I'll just go with a null now. Fine now. So, and then the root element is root element is added. Okay, root element is added, and now inside the root element I'm going to add some, okay, some other tags. So basically, what type of string I'm like to build? I like to build a string like this. You follow this? First name. Okay, like this. This is a type of string we are going to build. Okay, so this is going to return, right? We know the return type, right? We know how to refer the return type. Return type is going to be a XML node. So XML node, okay. So this is a root. This is a root element. Okay, so you follow this. So this is a root element, and so now I have methods here. I'm going to add a child to this root element. So then we are going to refer. Then we are going to refer the XML node class methods. Using XML node class method, we are going to add a child elements to the root element, right? To the root element, we are going to add the child element. So root dot add child element. So what is the child element you are going to add? Last name. Last name. Okay. So we are not going to follow now the namespace and all, prefix and all, without namespace, just element name. Got me? So reason we given a null value for null for the rest of the two parameter. Okay, because that's going to expect the namespace, library, and prefix. That I'm not going to add. Got me? Right. So each of these add element method. Okay, if you go here XML node, so XML node is a class which has a methods add child element, which itself is going to return an XML node again. You will follow this? Itself is going to return XML node again. So dom dot XML node, sorry. Okay, dom dot XML node, and I say, okay, and I say L name or something. Okay, we'll follow this. So let's add the first name. Okay, first name, last name, and what else we are going to add? Okay, we are going to add city. Right. So now I'm going to display this in the form of string. Okay, we are going to because we have Apex data type called string only, right? We do not have XML type here. We are everything are going to build in the form of, we had add this tag, but finally we are going to build this display in the form of string now. So we are going to display in the form of string. Okay, so we have a method in the document. We have a method in the document class. The method is called return the XML data in the form of string. Okay, return the XML data in the form of string. Listen here. So doc.xml string, what is going to return? String is going to return. So public so let's store this result here. I haven't given value here, ma. I haven't given value. I just given I build this tags only. We'll see how to build the value, right? Sorry. So what I got here, you see the result here, how it looks like. Okay, it's added. Okay, the first one, what is the encoding format and version, everything is added. So below this, we got the right. You're able to build the string like this. People could do this. Okay, right. What happens here? Okay, the string is built without any content. Without any content, I can close the tag in the same tag itself, right? At the end, open a close tag. We don't have any content here. Okay, it means XML without a content, right? Say for example, your command button, I can close at the end, which doesn't going to have any content. If it is a page block, of course, we are going to have some content. So if it is not having any content, the tag is closed there itself. Okay, now we'll see how to add the content. We just add the element. How to add the content? We'll follow this. So how we are going to add the content? Listen here. Root element, XML node. The XML node has a method to add the text. They're going to add the text to the child node. For the current node, right? For the current node, which is the current node? Right now, L name is a current node, F name is a current node, CT is a current node. Okay, so this method is used to add for the current node, this node. Okay, for this node, what I'm going to add. Okay, right. See here, next to this, we're going to say L name dot add text node. So what I'm going to add my here, the value. It's clear to all of you. So f name dot add text, add the text to the node. So which node you are going to add the text? So that node we are going to take the instance. That instance you are going to take. Okay, right? Similarly, city dot add text node. Everyone is good with this? Okay, so I got the value now. So with the value, okay, so I got the data right now. Customer, people got this? Okay, so I'm going to build this. So this what? So earlier we are able to build Okay, so here we build without the node. I mean, without the text node. This is build. Example 2. Okay, we build with the node, with the text node, right? So this is an example. Okay, so detailed example we got. In case if I like to build this, so this is a use case, right? This is a use case 1. Suppose I need this the thing in no, this format. What is the format? The format is inside the customer. I have a name. And child to name. I have this. We'll go to this. I have like this. Okay. We'll follow this. Okay. So now listen here. So next to the root element, we are going to add a child. So before this, we are going to add a child to the root element. Root dot add child element. So what is the name of the child element? The immediate child name, right? No namespace, no prefix. So I make it as null. In case if you need, you can go with the URL and prefix you can give. We'll see that example as well. So this is going to return a dom.xml node. Okay, and right, this is a name element. So now okay, now for this name we are going to add the child. Then obviously this is going to take the place here. That's it. That's the only difference we have now. That's all. We'll follow this. So we are going to add to which element you are going to add. So take that instance and add the child. And for that child, we are going to add the node. Go here. We'll follow this. So I got the content like this, right? So how do you got the content? I mean the output. Okay, I got the output now. In the form of string, we are display this, right? Name. What is that? Struggling this. Okay. Anyway, so maybe I'm just missing something here, formatting. Okay, right. Pretty function here. Yeah, if it is string, right? The string can be displayed pretty, but let me check on this now later. I'm just going with this. I couldn't able to respond you properly. Wait. Last name. Okay, and closed here. Yeah, it is closed here, right? It's closed here. So basically, we need to do it in other way. Name and last name is added to this. Okay, last name is added here, and now the first name should be a child to name only. Am I right? That's the reason it's giving the result in this format. This should not be the case. Okay, the name is repeated. Okay, basically, the first name should be a child to name, and city should be child to name. Am I right? We'll follow this. It's clear? Okay, so now you got the right one. Name, okay, and inside which I have a first name and then city and the outer element child name, and everything is inside the customer. We'll follow this. Right, so in case if you need a namespace, okay, if you need a namespace, then what you will do? Suppose for the outer element, okay, you can have the namespace for any element. Suppose for the outer element I need a namespace, then I go with the website here, a URL here, right? What is the prefix I'm going to use? The prefix, what do you got here? You got a namespace only for that element. So wherever you give the namespace and prefix, only for that you got the namespace. Okay, like this you got. See here, okay, so sfdc meet colon name, and we got XML namespace, okay, colon the prefix. So what is the prefix? The prefix is for this namespace URL. The prefix is for this namespace URL. Okay, that's how we build your namespace as well. Namespace. So namespace is uh, only for name element only, not for other element. So other element still without namespace. If you want namespace to be added for other element, so you have to give the second parameter, right? The second parameter as a URL and third parameter as a prefix. We'll follow this. Is clear to all of you? Okay, so namespace, how to give? This how we'll give the namespace. People are good to this.
Clear, sir.
Okay then. So let's see one quick example, just last example, so that I'll upload some examples for your reference, for XML node understanding.
Sir, example with namespace and prefix also is there, then we will get a full idea on this, sir. Right now we
Yeah,
are
it's clear,
providing
no?
null
This
for our
is
names.
Okay, these are all different format that's you know how to modify that. Okay, so let's take quickly. mm, right. No email WhatsApp group right now. Okay, just go with the email communication as of now. We'll look on it later. No email group. And now I'm going to build a XML with attribute, a complex type, right? Whatever you have seen earlier, it's a simple type. It's a kind of complex type. The complex type, we say it has some attributes as well, right? Which has a child element and and can also have attributes also. So what about the okay, 1 minute? Yeah. What about the string in the beginning? It's a kind of a complex type, right? It's a kind of complex type with attributes, encoding, version. So how to build the XML with attributes? Suppose here I would like to add some title. Got me? Take an example of your a page. So what are the attributes here? ID. Am I right? Rendered. So it's a boolean. It's a boolean value, right? So like this, we are going to build the a component along with the attribute now. I'm going to build the component along with attributes. So XML with attributes, a complex type. Okay, right? So let's go with this, a customer. And now for the customer, I'm going to, okay, let's take another example. Right? Say contact. For the contact, I'm going to add an attribute. Right? You might have guessed it. How to add attributes? Attributes for this element, contact element. So you just refer the node, right? The node class. We have attribute. Okay, we have set attribute. These are properties, right? Get set property method. Set attribute. Okay, we have set attribute key value. So when you say attribute, it has a value as well, right? When you say attribute, you have value as well. Attribute value. Attributes and name value pair. So the method itself, the method itself is going to give a key value pair set attribute. Doesn't going to return anything. Okay, just going to have a attribute. That's it. So root dot set attribute, say, okay, add uh, phone number, like this. One more attribute I'm going to add. Right. So now let us, what happened? So what I got? I got like this. So okay. So I got a element with attributes. You'll follow this. I got element with attributes. Okay, so let's build the. So if you like to add any root element for this, the top one. If you like to add root elements for the top one, sorry, child element, then okay. So root dot add child element. First name. I'm going to add some value, right? It's going to return uh, dom dot XML node. You follow this? So we are going to add the value, add text node. Am I right? Like this, you are going to add. Similarly, we're going to add, last name. Okay. Right. So we got that data like this. Okay. We'll go to this. Okay then. So we got. Okay. Just few more minutes, we'll wind up this session. Next week we'll start by 7. Sunday morning 7 my time we'll start. Okay. So just today, I request you to manage. I just request you to manage today.
Today 7 o'clock we have
Let's
class,
take
sir.
no. Weekends only 2 days. Put a minute. I'll explain at the end. So now I need to build a like we have seen for JSON, right? How to build that's you're going to do it, right, as an exercise. Okay, child to, I think this one we already seen an example, array of account. Okay, that's the same thing we are going to do it in your XML by using XML. Okay, right? So what are you going to do now? Root element, I make it as accounts. Root element I'm going to make it as account. Okay, we don't going to use any attribute here. If you want, you can put attributes. Okay, attributes I remove it. So child element I'm going to put in the form of okay, like this, because one account you have, the outer element is going to be account inside which you are going to have the values. So for ACC list account A, you will go to this. So okay, so what root element we are going to have? Label Okay, label and so account A. Okay, and no data for this. For this, we're going to add the child. The child is going to be the different field. Okay, the child is going to be the different field. So let's go with a different one. I just remove this. Maybe it can create confusion to you, right? So A dot. Let's add the attribute now. Right, like this, I'm going to build attribute for every account. See the format, whatever you like, you can build. Phone, need two fields we build, and it's fine. Oh, what is missing here? ACC add element. Sorry. Create root element, right? And then root dot add child element, and then set attribute. Okay, set attribute XML string. So what is the thing we are missing here? ACC set attribute ACC dot set attribute is what is the one I missing? A local part cannot be null. Okay. Oh, maybe. Okay, the phone number is not there. Maybe, right? Where phone is not equal to null. right? Okay, it got the record without with a null value, so it's create an issue. Okay, right. Right, we got the data now, account, and within each I have these accounts, right? Attributes, attributes in the form of name, phone number, right? This is what I got. We'll go to this. Okay, then we'll wind up this session. So this is how you build your XML. Okay, you can try the example of right. What was the example we were trying to achieve in the JSON? Okay, so try to build an XML with last name, email, attributes for contact, and for account. Just go with the name as an attribute. We'll follow this. Can you try building this? Okay, then I'll upload the notes in the form of Visual Force page, as you will see it in the arc. Any notes and videos related access, just send an email to friend.
Ranjit, one small query. Hello.